That is the energy of the investors, right? So, as you know, I will be talking to you about another 40-45 minutes, and that will be specifically about your career, right? So that will be that we are having a very interesting discipline that is known as geophysics, right? And I'm sure that many of you might not be aware that what is geophysics. How many of you have heard this word geophysics? Can you raise your hands? Geophysics. मैं एक हाथ देख रहा था लेकिन बाद में नीचे कर फ्रॉम कुरुक्षेत्र यूनिवर्सिटी वे बैक 1985 to 1988 it's a 3-year course at that time it was an alien discipline for the girls but today we are having dominance of girls more than 50% we are having the girls which are there in the class, right? So that is how the things changes. Can we have the presentation?
Yes, sir. Gaurav, sir. Lights.
Right. So as you see here that we are having the earth, and one thing is that what is happening on the surface of the earth and above the earth. Another thing is that what is beneath the earth, right? What is there inside the earth. So when I talk about geophysics as a discipline, right? As the word indicates, geo and physics. Geo, we are talking about earth, and physics, we are talking about the different aspects which are related to different phenomena. And here what we are doing, that we are applying the principles of physics to explore the subsurface. To take it in a very simple language, अगर आप जियोफिजिक्स की बात करते हैं नेक्स्ट भैया आप मेरा इशारा होगा तो आप उधर आगे चलते जाएंगे ना. तो जियोफिजिक्स ये आप देखते भी रहेंगे. तो जियोफिजिक्स की अगर मैं बात करूँ एज ए डिसिप्लिन, so we are applying the principles of physics to understand what is there inside the earth. उसमें आप ऑयल, नेचुरल गैस की बात करते हो, आप मिनरल्स और मेटलिक ओर्स की बात करते हो, आप ग्राउंड वाटर एक्सप्लोरेशन की बात करते हो. दूसरे शब्दों में अगर मैं अप्लाइड जियोफिजिक्स की बात करूं, तो जो भी आपकी डिफरेंट जियोफिजिकल प्रिंसिपल्स हैं और जो फिजिक्स के प्रिंसिपल्स यूज करके आप व्हाट इज देयर इन द सबसरफेस उसको एक्सप्लोर करेंगे, उसका जो मेन पर्पस होगा वो है कि हाउ वी कैन यूज इट फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ द सोसाइटी. जब हम ग्राउंड वाटर की बात करते हैं तो वी नो दैट इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एज फार एज द इरिगेशन और डोमेस्टिक वर्क इज कंसर्न. जब हम आप सबसरफेस ऑयल और नेचुरल गैस की बात करते हैं तो हमें पता है कि हाउ मच इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द सोसाइटी. तो एक चीज मिनरल्स की एक्सप्लोरेशन की बात करते हैं, आप मेटल्स के ओर्स की बात करते हो, तो यू आर इंटरेस्टेड दैट हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू यूज इट फॉर द ह्यूमैनिटी. तो जब हम जियोफिजिक्स की बात करेंगे तो वी आर ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हाट इज देयर विद इन द अर्थ एंड हाउ मच एट व्हाट डेप्थ. तो मैं लेमन लैंग्वेज में बात करूं तो हमारे सबसरफेस को जानने के लिए कुछ चीजें ऐसी हो सकती हैं जिनकी डेंसिटी में थोड़ा अंतर है. आप कैसे पता लगाओगे कि कुछ चीजें अलग अलग हैं? जैसे हम गर्ल्स की बात करें यहाँ पे, तो पहला एक इंप्रेशन हो सकता है कि भी कपड़ों से. अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड एड्रेसिंग द सोसाइटल इश्यूज, द इश्यूज व्हिच आर देयर. आप में से कितने बच्चों ने सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल का नाम सुना है, एसडीजी? तो सारों ने सुना होगा, ये अभी 2 बच्चों ने हाथ उठाया है. सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स, है ना? व्हाट इज सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल? एनी वन ऑफ यू? नो आंसर इज अ रॉन्ग आंसर. जिस बच्चे ने हाथ खड़ा किया बताइए एक बार, क्या है सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल? हाँ बेटा. So we are talking about sustainability of the resources, keeping in mind the needs of the future generation. We are going to utilize the resources in such a way that we are not wasting it, we are optimally utilizing it, so the future generations need not compromise their own needs, right? So that is what we are talking about. So when we are talking about the sustainability, we should know the resources, how much resources are there, and then at the same time we should also understand that how we are going to use it. So for that we are applying the different methods. Now we have talked about the electrical, we have talked about the gravity, then there may be some magnetic or electric field which is associated with that. So we are applying the methods of aeromagnetic surveys, magnetic method, or we are talking about the magnetic tellurate. We are having some ions in the atmosphere. Because of that, we are having the eddy currents, right? So because of that also, we are trying to identify some of the metallic minerals which are present over there, conductive material which is present over there, right? So this way we try to understand the subsurface. Next one. So when we try to understand that what is lying beneath, we are applying the methods of, as you see here, that we are trying to apply the methods of gravity, magnetic, electrical, remote sensing, well logging and seismic. When I'm talking about the seismic method, आपने earthquake तो अभी पीछे भी आया 3-4 दिन पहले ना दिल्ली एनसीआर रीजन में 4.2 मैग्नीट्यूड का, राइट? सो कंटिन्यूअसली वी आर हैविंग द अर्थक्वेक्स व्हिच आर जनरेटिंग. सो एक तो होता है कि अर्थक्वेक से हम डर रहे हैं, और जो हमारा डिसिप्लिन है इसमें सब्जेक्ट होता है साइस्मोलॉजी, द साइंस ऑफ अर्थक्वेक, राइट? तो उसे हम क्या करते हैं, ये जो वेव्स ट्रेवल करती है वो मदद करती है हमें कि अर्थ का जो सबसरफेस है वो कैसा है, जो इंटरनल स्ट्रक्चर है, जैसे आप बात करते हैं ना क्रस्ट, मेंटल, कोर. हाउ टू नो दैट? One of the important aspect is that through seismology, you are recording the waves which are coming, surface wave as well as the body waves, and then you're trying to understand. One of the aspect is that we are trying to understand how much damage can be there. On the other aspect is what is there within the subsurface. Where there is a boundary between the crust and the mantle, whether the oceanic crust is different from the oceanic crust is different from the land crust, right? So all these things we are trying to understand. Next one. So why geophysics is important? Now the question, maybe it is clear by now that when we are trying to understand the resources which are available over there, right? So number one, कहाँ पे कितना resources available है? For example, ground water. राजस्थान में ground water को ढूंढना ही अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा challenge है और बहुत useful है, right? अगर हम ores की बात करते हैं, जैसे you are talking about the metallic ores, right? In खेतली we are having the copper ore, right? हम हाइड्रोकार्बन्स की बात करते हैं, तो आप कहते हैं डिगबोई की बात करते हो, या आप अंकलेश्वर की बात करते हो, गुजरात की बात करते हो, तो यू आर हैविंग सम ऑफ द एनवायरमेंटल जियोलॉजिकल एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशंस जहां पे आपका हाइड्रोकार्बन बन रहा है. तो एक हाइड्रोकार्बन की प्रेजेंस के बारे में पता लगाना है और उसके बाद में उसको कैसे एक्सप्लोर करना है. सेकंड, देन थर्ड इज व्हाटएवर ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग ओवर देयर उसको हम कैसे ऑप्टिमली यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं. जैसे आपने एक ऑयल फील्ड है, ऑयल फील्ड से ऑयल एक्सप्लोर किया, उसके बावजूद भी कुछ ऐसे हॉराइजन्स बच जाते हैं जिनको आप फर्दर एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो, या आपने कहीं नए एरिया में कोल का पता लगाना है सबसरफेस. तो यहाँ पे एक बात मैं जरूर कहना चाहूंगा, आप में से कितने बच्चे ऐसे हैं जो केवल एकेडमिक्स को भी अपना टीचिंग को अपना प्रोफेशन बनाना चाहते हैं? अपना हाथ खड़े करते हैं. केवल टीचिंग और कोई सब्जेक्ट नहीं और कोई प्रोफेशन नहीं, कोई नहीं जाना चाहता टीचिंग में? पक्का? आप में से कितने बच्चे ऐसे हैं जो कॉर्पोरेट्स में जाना चाहते हैं? कॉर्पोरेट्स, इंडस्ट्री, और क्या करोगे? कहीं हाथ नहीं खड़ा करे, कहां जाना चाहते हो? एनीवन ऑफ यू? आपका जो कैरियर गोल है, आर यू इंटरेस्टेड और टू बिकम एज द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर? आईएएस, एचसीएस कितना बनना चाहते हैं? हाथ खड़े कर दें. एक ही रहा, बीबी एक ही हाथ आया, बाकी क्या करेंगे? अगर बेटा, if you are not having teaching as a passion, if you want to go to the industry, if you want to go to the field, if you want to work in the office and try to unmarvel what is there within the surface of the earth, then this is the discipline where you can think of. In ये बीएससी जो नॉन मेडिकल है, जिसमें फिजिक्स और मैथ आपका मेजर रहता है, उसके बाद में 3 साल का कोर्स है. उसके बाद में ओएनजीसी का कितने बच्चों ने नाम सुना है? ओएनजीसी, ओएनजीसी, ऑयल इंडिया लिमिटेड. अच्छा चलो बताओ, कितने बच्चे अखबार पढ़ते हैं?
ऊपर गए.
अभी भी 2 बच्चों का नाम है. सच्ची में 2 बच्चे पढ़ते हैं क्या? आर यू श्योर? आप अखबार बाकी लोग बिल्कुल नहीं पढ़ते हैं? ऐसा नहीं हो सकता, कभी तो पढ़ते होंगे. When I'm talking, don't hesitate. It's just why I'm just throwing these questions just to make you a little bit attentive. When I'm talking about geophysics as a discipline, if you want to go to the industry, if you want to go to the multinational, मैंने जो नाम लिया ऑयल एंड नेचुरल गैस कॉर्पोरेशन, इट इज वन ऑफ द नवरत्न कंपनी जो आपके ऑयल एक्सप्लोरेशन से डील करती है। ऑयल इंडिया लिमिटेड, प्राइवेट में आप रिलायंस की बात करते हो, आप एसआर की बात करते हो ना, आप सीजीजी की बात करते हो, बहुत सारी कंपनीज प्राइवेट डोमेन में भी है, बहुत सारी कंपनीज आपकी पब्लिक डोमेन में भी। तो अगर आपने अपना प्रोफेशनल कैरियर अदर देन टीचिंग में आपका इंटरेस्ट है, देन दिस इज वन ऑफ द डिसिप्लिन वेयर वी कैन थिंक ऑफ प्रोसीडिंग। नेक्स्ट वन। So we are the Department of Geophysics in Kurukshetra University. I'm so passionate to talk about it because I'm from the first batch of the department. जब ये कोर्स शुरू हुआ था नॉर्थ इंडिया में, अदर देन रुड़की और बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी, ये दो इंस्टीट्यूट ऐसे जिनमें बहुत पुराना ये डिसिप्लिन था। उसके बाद 1985 में ये कुरुक्षेत्र में शुरू हुआ और मैं हिसार से ग्रेजुएशन करने के बाद में आई एम फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट बैच ऑफ दिस डिपार्टमेंट। After doing my masters, then in 1990 I joined as a scientist at Haryana Space Application Center. You might be aware about the satellites, to know what is there on the surface of the Earth. So we are having the Earth observation satellite. तो उनका डाटा यूज करके how to understand what is there on the surface of the Earth. So I was working there for about 14 years. 2-3 साल जर्मनी लगा के आया उसी दौरान। तो उसके बाद मेरे को लगा कि नहीं, एकेडमिक्स में वापस जाना चाहिए। I joined the department back in 2004, right? So that is how my journey started, but we are having so many things. The motto of the department is that we want to develop a geophysical knowledge power and acclaimed knowledge power at the global level. That is our motto. And the teachers who were there, who started the department, and later on, our students are having their presence at all the levels, in the industry, in the academics, at the different multinational companies, and when we are talking about the abroad, working in the different organizations. For example, Schlumberger is one of the very, very important MNC, and one of the alumni of the department. He is now head of the Gulf countries, who is looking after the oil operations, right? So that is how the presence of the students is there. Next one. So as I told you that it is a 3-year degree course, and after Roorkee, it is the only department when we are talking about Haryana, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Delhi and Rajasthan. ये अकेली यूनिवर्सिटी ऐसी है जहाँ पे आपको पीजी जियोफिजिक्स में है। और मैंने क्यों कहा था कि एकेडमिक्स के अलावा, टीचिंग के अलावा अगर कोई कैरियर आप सोच रहे हो, तो उसका कारण ये था कि पूरी इंडिया के अंदर केवल 11 ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं जहाँ पे जियोफिजिक्स कोर्स रन हो रहा है। तो आप सोच सकते हैं कि टीचिंग में हमारा एवेन्यूज या कैरियर बनाने के चांसेस उतने अच्छे नहीं हैं जितने कि बाकी हैं। हमारे 2 बच्चे बीएचयू में असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर हैं, तो वहां पे भी हैं, लेकिन चांसेस आर वेरी लिमिटेड बिकॉज यू आर हैविंग अ ह्यूज कंपटीशन, right? But in otherwise, if I tell you that the batch which passed out in 2024 June, 100% placement is there. All of them have been placed either into the companies or they are pursuing their PhD, right? So that is how the department is integrated into the employment scenario. Next one. So when I talk about the founders, I mean these names may be very different to you, but Dr. Gogna, Professor M.L. Gogna, he was basically a mathematician, but he was working on applied mathematics. So he was trying to understand the velocity of the waves which are traveling because of the because of the earthquake. So he was a seismologist. He propounded his thought of having this department. And this was the first department in the university where the post was sanctioned first, and then the department was established. And at that time, the post used to be sanctioned from the UGC. And then we are having Professor Srinivas, he was from IIT Roorkee. Then Professor Professor Nandlal, he was basically from physics and then shifted to geophysics. And then we have Professor S.S. Tezgia, all have retired. Next one. Next one. So this is the present faculty of the department. As you can see that I'm also in the black hairs there. It's the old photo. With the passage of time, things changes, right? So now I'm heading the department. Then my colleague, Dr. Dinesh, he is the Dean Academic Affairs in the university. We are having our colleague, Dr. Manisha, Dr. R.B.S. Yadav, Dr. Sushil is sitting here amongst us. and then Atul. So we are having 6 faculty. We are having a 6 semester, 3-year course, right? So why I'm talking about this, that if you see the specializations, we are having the specializations in all the branches of the geophysics. So we are having the teachers who are working in different domains, where we are talking about the exploration of the subsurface. Next one. So why? I mean, what are the major intakes? One of the important aspect is that in every semester the students have to deliver a seminar. So in the morning before I joined you, we were sitting with principal ma'am, and there is a company which has come for the soft skill training, right? One of the aspects which I find in our students is sometimes you give them a copy and a answer book, then they will get almost 90+%. But if I ask them that please get up and say something about yourself for 2 minutes, it will be a bit difficult, right? So that is where the soft skill training is there. So we are having the seminars in every semester. Then we are having the debates in the department at the university level. We are having the quizzes of the subject, and you will be happy to know that our students at the national level, where we are having the presence of the IITs and in the School of Mines, we are having the presence of our students at all the levels, and they are bagging the medals, right? So the students who may be seniors to you are showing their presence at all the levels. So that is how our syllabus is designed, right? We are having about 40% the internal assessment, 60% that is the end-term examination, and there is a continuous evaluation, right? So all these things are targeted for the students, and we are having the experiential learning. You may be happy to know that we are having almost all the equipments and the instruments. You have to work in the field. So we are having the demonstrative areas in the university, and then another interesting aspect is in these 3 years you are having 3 field training. Field training, you will be going to a company like ONGC, like GSI, like NCRI Hyderabad, right? So there you will be spending 10 to 14 days to understand really what theory you have learned, and then we are going for the experiential learning. अभी आप नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में बात करते हैं ना एक्सपीरियंशियल लर्निंग की, तो आपको हर एक साल में 10 से 14 दिन लगाने ही लगाने, वो जरूरी है आपके लिए. तो इस तरह से हम बुक करते हैं. नेक्स्ट वन. इसी ये जो सिलेबस है हमने उसी तरह से एम्बेड किया हुआ है, और इस सिलेबस के अंदर सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग बात यह है कि आपके जो ग्लोबल इश्यूज हैं उन ग्लोबल इश्यूज को एम्बेड किया हुआ है, जिससे कि when we are talking about a geophysicist, he is a multidisciplinarian. आजकल हम बात कर रहे हैं ना इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी एजुकेशन की. सो दे आर वर्किंग अक्रॉस द डिसिप्लिन. अगर कोई क्लाइमेट चेंज के ऊपर मॉडलिंग का काम करना है, जियोफिजिसिस्ट मस्ट है. आपने स्पेस एप्लीकेशन सेंटर अहमदाबाद की बात करनी है, आपका जियोफिजिसिस्ट मस्ट है. इसरो ने चंद्रयान के ऊपर जो अभी आपको याद होगा चंद्रयान 3, वहां पे आपको क्रिस्टल फॉर्मेशन की बात करनी है. यू आर हैविंग ए जियोफिजिसिस्ट, एंड देयर वाज ए इंस्ट्रूमेंट इन द नेम ऑफ ILSA, instrument for lunar seismic activity. You are having the seismic activity on the moon also. जैसे earthquake की बात करते हैं ना, ऐसे आपके moon quake होते हैं, तो उनको understand करना है तो आपको geophysics की जरूरत है, right? So that is how the syllabus has been designed. Next one. So next one, go ahead. This we have taught. So when we are talking about the subsurface, as you know that whatever we are having on the surface of the earth, talking about the geography and the climatology and the meteorology, we are having equally challenging, equally adventurous things which are there within the subsurface. आप बात करते हो ना कि हम हिमालयाज की बात करते हैं, माउंटेन एवरेस्ट की बात करते हैं, 8848 मीटर की बात करते हैं, दूसरी तरफ मैरियाना ट्रेंच की बात करते हैं. तो इनका फॉर्मेशन कैसे हुआ? आपने प्लेट टेक्टोनिक्स की बात करनी है तो आपको जियोफिजिक्स पढ़ना पड़ेगा. आपने वेगनर थ्योरी की बात करनी है, आपको जियोफिजिक्स पढ़ना पड़ेगा. आपका जो हिल ये रिलीफ कैसे है, तो आपको एक थ्योरी पढ़नी पड़ेगी, दैट इज द आइसोस्टेटिक थ्योरी. तो ये जो सारी चीजें हैं, इनके बारे में जो विद इन द अर्थ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, what is there, all these things we are trying to understand by the discipline that is the geophysics. And one of the important aspect is I told you that earthquakes, occurrence of the earthquake, वो डराते हैं ह्यूमैनिटी को, लेकिन at the same time they help us in understanding the subsurface. लेकिन then we are having another discipline that is seismic prospecting. आप क्या करते हैं? You are drilling a hole to a certain depth, you are putting a controlled charge, you are blasting it. and then the waves are propagating. जो ONGC काम करती है जैसे कि ऑयल कहाँ पे है, कैसे पता लगाएंगे उसके. One of the important the method is the seismic prospecting. Seismic prospecting में क्या कर रहे हैं, आपने एक रो में you have drilled some holes, you have put the charge, you have blasted it, and then you are having a number of instruments that we call it a geophone. Geo के बिना काम नहीं चलता है ना, geophysics, geophone, geology, right? So we are talking all about in terms of the earth, geo earth. So geophone, we are having the instrument which is recording how much time it has taken from the blast to the place. So which type of the material it can be. And that is how you are trying to understand that if we are having the hydrocarbon there, this should be the travel time, right? इस तरह से हम चीजों के बारे में next one पता लगाते हैं. Then I told you groundwater. Dr. Susil is sitting here, my colleague. He is specializing in passing the current through the subsurface, and they are trying to understand that if the groundwater is fresh, this will be the resistivity. If the groundwater is saline, this will be the resistivity. At what depth it can be found. Are you getting my point? So you want to identify the water table. You want to identify how much is the thickness. कितना थिकनेस है जहाँ पे पानी हमें मिल सकता है और क्या उसका प्रोबेबल यील्ड हो सकता है. तो इस तरह की सारी मेथड्स हम इलेक्ट्रिकल प्रोस्पेक्टिंग जो मेथड है उसके थ्रू वी ट्राई टू एक्सप्लोर. नेक्स्ट वन. देन मैंने जो ऑयल एक्सप्लोरेशन की बात की, ऑयल एक्सप्लोरेशन से पहले एक बात तो मैंने बता दी कि हमने साइस्मिक प्रोस्पेक्टिंग यूज किया और हमने एक हॉराइजन आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया. तो वो आपका प्राइम गोल है कि आपने कहाँ पे ऑयल हो सकता है इसके बारे में पता लगा लिया. लेकिन उससे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट चीज क्या है कि वहां ऑयल कितना अवेलेबल है उसके बारे में पता लगाने के बाद में देन यू आर हैविंग ए एक्सप्लोरेटरी वेल that you want to go and drill a small well, and then you are going for the logging. Means we are having an instrument which we are dropping in this well, so that what are the different horizons which are present over there, and then which is the horizon which is promising, जो आपको ज्यादा से ज्यादा ऑयल दे सकता है. तो बाकी जगह पे आप कैसे कर देंगे, वहां से आप ऑयल निकालना शुरू कर देंगे. और जब वो जो आपका एक्सप्लोरेटरी वेल है वो आपका when you are confirming yes this much oil is available, इकोनॉमिक्स आपके हर जगह काम करती है ना, वो इकोनॉमिकली एक्सट्रैक्टेबल होना चाहिए. तो देन इट विल बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू प्रोडक्शन वैल्यू, राइट. सो दैट इज हाउ अनदर यू कैन से द ब्रांच ऑफ जियोफिजिक्स वर्क इन द प्ले. नेक्स्ट वन. डायमंड वेरी डियर टू अस, राइट. वोल्केनोस हमें डराते हैं लेकिन वोल्केनोस आर आल्सो एसोसिएटेड विद द किम्बरलाइन पाइप्स, राइट. तो अगर हम डायमंड की प्रेजेंस की बात करनी है सबसरफेस के अंदर, तो डायमंड की प्रेजेंस के बारे में भी आपको अगर पता लगाना है तो देन यू आर हैविंग द जियोफिजिक्स व्हिच आर कमिंग इनटू द प्ले, राइट. एंड देन अगेन दैट where we can find what type of the terrain it should be, and then how much is going to be the reserve of the diamond. Next one. Then we are having the well logging. I have already told you that you are converting a exploratory well into the production well, right? So that is how geophysical well logging and seismic prospecting is going to play a role. Next one. Then we are not only confining to the instrumentation which is there on the surface of the earth, then we are moving into the air and then to the space. So you are having the aircraft which are, we are putting the instrument like aeromagnetic surveys, magnetometer we are putting on the aircraft, or we are having the satellite based observations, right? So all these observations which we are talking about are going to tell you that why this elevation in the surface of the earth is because of what. जैसे डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं ना, गला खराब है सर बुखार आ गया, डॉक्टर पूछेगा गला खराब है सर, जुकाम हो रहा है. They try to see the symptoms. So what is there within the surface of the earth is going to show you. अगर earthquake आता है, earthquake आने से पहले वहाँ पे जो stress build-up हुआ है, आपका volcano जो erupt हो रहा है उससे पहले वहाँ पे जो temperature changes हुए हैं, आपके thermal. So all these impressions are there on the surface of the earth. How we can read that, right? So that is how we are having some airborne methods also are going to tell you that what is present over the next one. मैंने आपसे सैटेलाइट की बात की थी ना, सैटेलाइट. सो वी आर हैविंग ए नंबर ऑफ सैटेलाइट्स इनटू द ऑर्बिट. सैटेलाइट हम किस लिए यूज करते हैं? एनी वन ऑफ यू, कोई बच्चा बताएगा सैटेलाइट किसके लिए यूज करते हैं? आई एम श्योर आवर लाइफ वुड नॉट हैव बीन एज सिंपल एज वी आर हैविंग नाउ, राइट? ऑल ऑफ यू आर हैविंग स्मार्टफोन्स. You are using the internet? How it is coming?
Through satellite.
Through satellite? So बता क्यों नहीं रहे? और क्या application हो सकता है? Weather forecasting, very good. What else? बोलो ना. EduSat का नाम सुना है? EduSat सुना है नाम नहीं? मैं क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछूंगा, मैं ये पूछूंगा, पूछा है कि नहीं, पता है कि नहीं है? हाथ खड़ा करने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, हैं? आपने अभी थोड़ा दिन पहले एक इसरो ने एक सैटेलाइट लॉन्च किया था NVS-2. NVS-2. आपने किसी बच्चे ने इसका नाम सुना है पढ़ा में? अच्छा, आप एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाते हो ना, कई बार आपको जगह का पता नहीं होता, आप मैप यूज करते हो ना, गूगल मैप करते हो? सभी बच्चे यूज करते हैं? तो कैसे काम करता है? So we are having the global positioning satellites, है ना, GPS satellites. So we are in our life. If I'm getting up in the morning, सबसे पहले देखता हूँ फ्रेंड से कोई अपडेट तो नहीं है. हम देखते हैं ना, फटाफट हम व्हाट्सएप देखते हैं. तो ये जो इंटरनेट आपका, we are having the INSAT group of satellite which is working over there, which is providing us the communication. मैं घर जाता हूँ, जाने के बाद देखते हैं थोड़ा टीवी देख लेता हूँ. DTH services not possible without the satellites. When we are talking about navigation, not possible without the global positioning system. India is having its own satellite group, that is navigation with Indian constellation, right? And then I'm talking about the resources which are available over there. We are having the Indian remote sensing type of the satellite. यमुनानगर 1972 में इतना बड़ा था, 1982 में इतना हुआ, 92 में इतना हुआ, 2022 में इतना, 2025 में इतना, 2035 में इसका एक्सपेंशन क्या होगा? कितनी जमीन को आसपास की खा जाएगा? आप शहर की ग्रोथ को मॉडल करना चाह रहे हैं. Why you want to model? Because you want to understand that how much utilities requirement will be there. The government is interested that how much water requirement will be there, how much electricity will be required, how much gas will be required for the consumption, how much drinking water supply is to be required. So all these things are to be planned. So you are going to have the futuristic predictions, how the city is going to grow by 2035, or we are having the Amritkal 2047 or 2050, right? So all these things we can monitor with the help of the satellites, because you are having the satellite. These are giving you the picture. You are having this all through. A picture which was taken in 1972 is available to you. So Yamunanagar का expansion 72 में कितना था, right? So all these, this is another very interesting discipline in which I am specializing. Next one. मैं केवल प्रिलिमिनरी बात कर रहा हूँ और आपको थोड़ा सा कि इसका पोटेंशियल क्या हो सकता है if you are planning to choosing this discipline. And then we are having the tunnel. आपने देखा होगा कई बार आता है कि बॉर्डर के ऊपर पाकिस्तान ने टनल खोद दी सब सरफेस में और दूसरी तरफ इंडियन बॉर्डर में आपने टनल सुना होगा ना, फॉरन पढ़ा होगा इनका दवा. तो इसका अगर हमें पता लगाना है कहीं पर टनल है और हमने नॉन इंट्रूसिव मेथड, हम वहाँ पे ड्रिल नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट होता है इसको बोलते हैं ग्राउंड पेनेट्रेटिंग रडार, GPR. आपने सरफेस के ऊपर से एक बार ऐसे लेके इसको घूम के, जैसे मैं माइक पे लेके घूम रहा हूँ हाथ में, एक छोटा सा होता है, ऐसे करके आप उसको ड्रैग कर लिया, आपको पता लग जाएगा कहाँ पर कोई हॉलो है, right? So these are another area where we are working. Next one. Then we are talking about the earthquake. वो मैंने आपको बता ही दिया, right? तो earthquake की वजह से damage one. earthquake कैसे आ रहा है? How the plates are moving. आपने सुना होगा कि हिमालयास हमारे continuously rise कर रहे हैं. सुना है ना? कितने बच्चों ने? अब तो हाथ खड़ा कर सकते, वेरी गुड, राइट? तो ये क्यों राइज कर रहा है, क्वेश्चन हमारे माइंड में आएगा. तो दैट इज वेयर द जियोफिजिक्स इज वर्किंग. कि ये जो हमारी प्लेट्स हैं, जो हमारी इंडियन प्लेट है, ये यूरेशियन प्लेट के अंदर सबडक्ट कर रही है, तो जिसकी वजह से स्ट्रेस बिल्डअप हो रहा है और हम हिमालय राइज कर रहे हैं. तो ये प्लेट्स का मोशन कैसे है, किस स्पीड से है, that is where the geophysics is going to play a role, and which is the area where there is a likelihood of, ये नहीं कह सकते कि हम कल भूकंप आएगा, लेकिन कहाँ पे स्ट्रेस बिल्डअप हो रही है जहाँ भूकंप आ सकता है, और जिसकी वजह से हम कहते हैं कि आपको इस तरह के बिल्डिंग्स डिजाइन करनी चाहिए. दैट इज वेयर माय कलीग्स आर वर्किंग. वी आर हैविंग द स्पेशलाइजेशन इन द डिपार्टमेंट. सो दैट टाइप ऑफ द वर्क इज आल्सो देयर. नेक्स्ट वन. सुनामी का नाम सुना होगा आपने, है ना? व्हाट इज सुनामी? वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द Su and Nami. Su is the harbor. Nami means waves. Harbor means, meaning we are having like a wall of water which is coming and it is flushing like it is flooding the area which is nearby, right? So we are talking about that, how the tsunami is generated. That is how you are going to understand that there are the plates, how the stress is being built up. Then there is some subsurface. You know that 2004 earthquake. which was of the coast of Indonesia of the magnitude 9.2 that has created the first time tsunami in the Indian Ocean 2004 के अंदर. उससे पहले हम मानते थे कि हमारा जो हिंद महासागर है उसमें कोई सुनामी नहीं आएगी. तो जियोफिजिक्स इज द डिसिप्लिन व्हिच इज गोइंग टू टेल यू अबाउट द सुनामीज. एंड उसके बाद इंडिया ने क्या काम किया? दे डेवलप्ड द सुनामी वार्निंग सिस्टम एंड दे पुट इट इन प्लेस इन 2007. एंड कैन यू इमेजिन, अभी पीछे 2 अलर्ट्स ऐसे हैं जो इंडियन सुनामी वार्निंग सिस्टम ने कहा कि सुनामी नहीं है, और अमेरिकन और जापानीज वार्निंग सिस्टम ने कहा कि सुनामी है. Can you imagine? That is the level of efficacy which has been which has come to when it was only established in 2007. So tsunami is another very important aspect which is going to be, if you are at all interested in these disciplines, is going to be. Next one, landslide. शिमला आप लोगों में से काफी गए होंगे ना, तो कई बार आपने नाम सुना होगा अखबार में चक्की मोड़. जब बारिश आती है ना उसके बाद में कहते हैं वो रास्ता बंद हो गया, चक्की मोड़ के ऊपर लैंडस्लाइड हो गया. सो हाउ दिस लैंडस्लाइड आर occurring, how the slope failure is there, right? So how you can model it. We are I have guided 3 students who have worked on the landslides in the Baspa basin, that is the Himalayas, and another 2 important areas, how this is going to take place. Can we model that these are the sensitive areas from the landslide point of view? So that is another specialization where we are going to talk. Next one. So if we have to understand that what is there, where is the hazardous waste, or we are talking about the radiocarbon, we are having some radioactive material which is present in the subsurface, right? So I was talking about the logging. We are having the methods through which you can identify that which type of the radiation is coming over there, right? So if there is some radioactive material in the subsurface, you can have the presence of that. You are having the method through which you can explore. Next one. आजकल आपने AI का नाम काफी सुन रहे होंगे.
Yes, sir.
So none of the discipline is devoid of the application of AI, right? So जब हम ये पूरे प्रोसेस की बात करते हैं, right from data acquisition, data processing and data interpretation and any of the domain. जब हमने अभी हाइड्रोकार्बन की बात की, ऑयल एक्सप्लोरेशन की, या हमने माइनिंग एरियाज की बात करते हैं, या हम ग्राउंड वाटर की बात करते हैं, तो यू आर हैविंग द एप्लीकेशंस ऑफ द आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, मशीन लर्निंग एंड डीप लर्निंग, which can help you in optimizing all the processes which we are using. So you are having the scope of specializing yourself into the AI and the machine learning, how it can be used into the geophysics. Next one. So in the department you see like the students are sitting over there. So they are having all the industry and academia interface. That we are having the industrial partners which are coming to the department, talking to the students, showing them that what type of the work the industry is doing and where there can be the synergistic approach. You will be happy to know that we are the only department in Kurukshetra University which is having the consultancy projects, the industry sponsored projects more than crore. We are the only department, right? So that is where, if you are interested in the consultancy, that is also one of the area where geophysics can help you. Next one. Thrust areas I have already talked, right? When we are talking about all these disciplines, so our department is having the thrust areas in each and every discipline. We are happy, we are fortunate that we are having our colleagues who are specializing in one or the other branch of the geophysics, right? So that is why we are able to cover almost the entire domain of geophysics, ranging from, as you see, that we are talking about the groundwater exploration, we are talking about the remote sensing in GIS, we are talking about the seismic hazard. There was a very important project from the Ministry of Earth Sciences that major cities are having the problem if the earthquake is going to occur, how much hazardous it can be for a particular city. So there were in the first phase 9 cities in which the seismic hazard zonation study has been carried out, right? And that is that if the future buildings are going to be, so what type of codes, what type of the construction is to be used. So for that you are talking about the presence of the earthquakes and studies because of that. Then environmental studies, you are talking about the electrical resistivity, I had talked, and then we are talking about the thermal and exuvation. हिमालयाज की मैं बात कर रहा था ना आपसे अभी कि हिमालयाज राइज कर रहे हैं, तो वो किस स्पीड पे राइज कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि एक टर्म होता है कि हिमालय राइज भी कर रहे हैं और साथ में आपका इरोजन भी हो रहा है, राइट? सो एक्सह्यूमेशन, एक वर्ड बोलते हैं हम एक्सह्यूमेशन, दैट इट इज राइजिंग एट द सेम टाइम इट इज being eroded. So how the rocks which are present over there, we are having the only lab in North India which is a national facility which is dedicated to the Himalayas exhumation. So that is low temperature thermochronology. You are trying to understand the dating of the rocks on the basis of the apatite and zircon. Right? So you want to understand the age of the rock, and then you are going to correlate that how the Himalayas, from which part it has come. So that is another very interesting area. Next one. These are, whatever I talked to you, so we are having a number of instruments which are present over there. Next one. So we are having a seismological observatory also associated with the department. Next one. So we are having GPS we were talking about. There is another very important aspect that is we call it as a DGPS. GPS, we are getting around 10 meter accuracy, but when we are using DGPS, differential global positioning system, so then we can get sub-meter accuracy, right? So if you are going to the field, want to record the lat long information of it, we are having the DGPS which is available over there. Next one. So students working on different aspects. Next one. We are having the geological samples also, so that you can identify which type of the rocks. This is one of the fundamental study when you're going to the field. Next one. Next one. So we are having the different type of the labs. And of course, as you know that the conference or the workshop are one of the important aspects. And you will be happy to know that in our department, whatever event is happening, that event is to be organized by the students only. We are there just on the backs, right? So whatever event is there, whatever type of the workshops you are seeing here, those are the students are given the responsibility. Once the scheduling is done, they are taking care of everything, right? That is how they are getting exposed to that. If you are going to manage a particular type of the academic event, how we can do that. Next one. So this is, I think, very, very important. When we are talking about the collaborations and our students, you can see at the national level and the international level, you are seeing a number of the universities pan globe, and you are seeing the number of institutes pan India, right? So not only we are having the academic collaborations, but we are having our students who are present over there as a researcher, as a scientist, as an expert. Their presence is there. So I will just name a few. For example, NGRI, National Geophysical Research Institute, right? तो जैसे हम बोलते हैं हमारे हिंदुओं के लिए कहते हैं ना कि भाई 4 धाम यात्रा है, तो हमारे जियोफिजिक्स में NGRI is like a धाम, right? So one of the renowned institute, and you will be happy to know that we are having five of the alumnus who are working in different positions, right? Ranging from almost the second position to inducting. Just 3 years back, we were having 2 students who were inducted into the regular position, right? So NCRI, we are having the NICE, Northeast Institute of Science and Technology. We are having IIT Institute of Himalayan Geology, Dehradun. We are having NCS, that National Center for Seismology, what I was talking to you about, Ministry of Earth Sciences. We are talking about NSES, MOES, we are talking ONGC. There are a number of, can you imagine? 2008 batch, 17 students were there, and all the 17 students got placed in ONGC. Right? So we are having our presence almost everywhere. And when we were talking about the international, as you can see, that when we are talking about, it's a Greece, an institute, we are talking about the University of Bologna, Italy, we are talking about Taiwan, Singapore, Saskatchewan, Taiwan, and then we might have missed many because Germany also is missed here, Freiburg, right? So we are having almost the presence at the different levels, so that is where we can think of. Next one. So when we talk about that how our students are getting the opportunities, can you imagine every year one of our students, there is a chapter known as SPG, Society for Petroleum Geophysicists, SEG, Society for Exploration Geophysicists. One of the students is getting an opportunity to go and attend an event that is the Young Leadership Program in USA. The student who is heading the chapter in Kurukshetra University get an opportunity with funding. The student did not pay even a single paisa, right? So one of the students is getting the opportunity to go and present the chapter, and you will be happy to know that last year our chapter was globally, I am talking about, There are more than 253 chapters across the globe, and our chapter was just the best across the globe. So that is how the students, I'm not saying that, it is everything the teachers are doing, no. Because the students who are coming, the students are having very bright, mind, and they are having so promising attitude, right? And that is how the department gets the opportunity to sign even at the global level. Next one. And 3 of the students get full funding last year to present themselves. Normally it's 1, but last year 3 students got the opportunity to go to USA, Houston. Houston is known as like hub of geophysics, oil and natural gas, right? So they all those 3 were sponsored by the foreign organization. Next one. That is what I was talking about, SPG and SCG. Next one, please. So, this is all our students, what I was talking to you about, that we are having the national events. They are getting their presence and the medals at the national level also, where the students of IIT Roorkee, Indian School of Mines, IIT ISM Dhanbad, IIT Kharagpur, we are IIT Mumbai, we are having Osmania University, we are having Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. All the students are going over there, and our students make their presence felt by winning one or there was a event in VHU. You won't believe all the positions, 3 positions, first, second, third one for Kurukshetra University. So that is how the students are getting exposed. Next one. Placement I was talking to you about. But I have cautioned you that if you are talking about the academics being a teacher, the possibility is very challenging, that you have to do the outstanding work in the academics with your PhD, number of publications, then only you can get an opportunity, because we are having only 11 institutes throughout India. But when you're talking about the corporate, you're talking about the MNCs, you're talking about the different, then you are getting the opportunity to induct into the next one. So, but our placement is, I can say openly that it is 100%. 100 means 100. Within 6 to 9 months, all the students who are passing out are getting placed. Next one. Next one. So these are the different institutions where our students are placed. Of course, I have talked to you before. Next one. Where we can think of getting placed. ONGC, Oil India Limited, Bharat Petroleum, Reliance Petroleum, SR Oil, Exxon Oil, NCRI, ISRO, MOES, Space Application Center, Groundwater Boards, Mining Department, so on and so forth. The opportunities are there in almost all the disciplines. Next one. So when we are talking about the different specializations and different aspects, we are having almost all the specializations which I have talked to you about. The students get the opportunity to specialize in. Next one. Next. These are some of the alumni who are working in different departments, right? Just passed out from here and leading some of the important organizations. Next one. Next one. So, what we are looking for, this is the second last slide, right? What we are looking for in the coming days, as you all know that we're talking a lot about the NEP. So the syllabus will be tuned in as the NEP. And at the same time, we are having a very important center which is coming up. Center of Advanced Research in Earthquake Sciences, Earthquake Studies, right? So that is where the university has given a fund of about 20 crores to set up this center. Right? We are already having an observatory, but this center will be established. And then we are having continuous industry and academia interface, which we are collaborating, and which can help us in showing our presence at the different levels. And at the same time, as you see that, I have told you that we are the only department in the university which is having best in terms of the consultancy. Right? So that is further going to, because now we are having a project from the Oil India Limited that we have to identify a new area, and by using non-intrusive, we are not putting anything, we are not drilling inside. By using the instruments on the surface of the earth, where we can get the promising horizons which can have the bearing on the oil. So that type of the consultancy project, which is costing about 72 lakh, has been given by the industry to the department. Next one. So with this, I would like to bring my talk to the conclusion, that be the change that you want to see in the world. Thank you very much. So any question in your mind? And let me be free and fair. Though ma'am is here, I was talking to ma'am in the morning that no question is a bad question. No question is a bad question. If you are asking a question, don't be judgmental that what others will think about me, right? So if any question related to the career or anything, if you have in your mind, so please let me know. Any one of you, or anything related to the subject. देखो ऐसे तो जाओगे नहीं, फिर मैं क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा, कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. Any one of you, anything if you want to.
Any teacher also.
Please. Okay, now do you think that it can be a promising career path? How many of you think that it can be an interesting career option? आप समझ रहे हो ना मेरी बात, या हिंदी में बताऊं? आप में से कितने बच्चे सोचते हैं कि एक अच्छा डिसिप्लिन हो सकता है, अच्छा कैरियर के लिए डिसिप्लिन हो सकता है? कितने बच्चे सोचते हैं ऐसा? गुड गुड. बेटा मैं एक बात फिर से कहना चाहूँगा, एक दो चीज़ों का आप जरूर ध्यान रखें, बिकॉज यू मे बी स्टिल हैविंग 1 or 2 years to go when you're doing. Some of you are in the final year, some of you in the second, some of you in the first year. First and